Okay, so Netflix have got a new German romantic comedy called Blame the Game, right? Um, yeah, or it's I think the German word is Spieleabend, right? I might be wrong. I might be wrong on that pronunciation, but it is directed by Marco Petry, written by Claudius Pläging, Pläging and Andrej Sorin. Producing it is Marcus Welk and Hannah Luz. Executive producing is Quernberg and Max Wiedenmann, with Isabel Nuffler as assistant producer. Uh, Production design is Fariza Anna Ficus. Set decoration Denise Barron. Um, our cast. Right, so the film revolves around Jan, played by Dennis Mijon, and Pia, played by Janina Uhse. Now, Pia has her group of friends, right? There is Carol, played by Anna Maria Mühe, her husband Oliver, played by Alex Stein. Then there is Kurt, played by Maximilian Meyer-Bretschneider. There's Sheila, right, played by Taneshia Abt. Um, we got Jan's best friend Alex, played by Edin Hasonvik. Uh, who else is there? There is Carol and Oliver's maid nanny, Gabriella, played by Alfonsina Benkosoma. Right. Now I think doing the English voice of Alex is Jean de Acunto. The English voice of Sheila is Haviland Sitwell. Right. So yes. Oh, and there is Matthias, Piers X. Matthias is played by Stephan Luca. The gist of the film is this. Where we got? A young man meets his new girlfriend's friends for the first time at their regular game night, putting him under pressure to make a good impression. But then suddenly her ex shows up as well. Now, again, like we've had these films. I mean, there was game night, right? There was another betting one, like Bet Against the House or something like that. But we've had these high profile comedies around a game night, around awkward situations, friends meeting, all of that kind of thing. And they can be funny, right? They can be amusing, they can work. There's nothing, there's no issue with that. I think the big key when making these films, it's the realism, right? You want it to feel like, I've been in these situations, right? That's when it works, right? When you can watch it and be like, oh boy, oh man, yeah, that shit's happened to me, right? That's it. You don't get that with this film, right? I think another key thing is the relationships. You know what I mean? You've got to buy these relationships. So you can't just have a simple thing making everything go crazy. Because we're meant to believe that these couples, they're solid, everything like that. So then you'll be like, wait, I thought you were wearing the blue shirt. And you're like, oh no, I don't know you at all. You know, it's stupidness like that. And it's, you just think a couple isn't arguing about that, right? Not a couple that's supposedly been together for a while. You know what I mean? Like, if you just met someone, maybe, but even so, you're kind of immature and moronic, you know? And that's the big thing. They always play these things off as if these couples are immature and moronic, you know? Right? Firstly, Pia and Jan, they've been dating a month. It's not a long time, right? It's not really a long time. Maybe if they've spent, like, you know, more than just one day a week together, right? You learn to know anyone, but it's that dating stage to them going, you know what? I'm not even having conversations with anyone else, right? It's just us. We're just in it. We don't know if they're in that, when that happened. We don't know any of this stuff. So you're just looking at it as this solid couple. But it's always weird. It's like when Yang gets invited to this game night. Well, firstly, he's like, oh, I can't make dinner, right? It was a impromptu date suggestion. She can't make it because she's got a date night, like, you know, this game night thing. And Yan's like, oh, just blow it off. But like, it's kind of shitty going blow it when you can just say there was no, oh, we could meet the next day, right? It's just like, no, blow off your friends. I mean, that's always that's a shitty thing. That's a shitty thing. Come on now, right? But he goes, right? When he's talking to his friend Alex, they're like, oh, that neighborhood, oh, they're so rich. Like, do we really care? Right? I mean, I've gone to many an evening at a friend's house, right? A friend of a partner's house. And you're not like, oh, how rich are they? Right? Oh, will I fit? You're like, oh, okay, what do they like? Right? You try and get an gauge of, oh, what are they like? You know what I mean? So do we have music in common, film in common, like those similarities, so you can walk in and just be like, yo, you know what I mean? Do they drink wine? Should I bring some wine? Should I bring some blah, 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 blah. That's the thing, right? But we get this weirdness about this whole situation. Like, if you're bringing a gift, you don't just go, oh, I'm gonna bring, no, you'd what think, what do they like, right? That's the big thing. So what he brings, it's fine, but again, you just feel, well, you want to make sure that she would be down with this thing. And then why even get it out the box? Right? Like it makes no sense. It just makes no sense. It's stupid. And as soon as it's out in the book, you know what's going to happen. And that's a big thing with this. Everything is super predictable. It's super predictable, right? It's like the people behind it don't really know relationships, right? Don't really know relationships, and their comedic timing is very, very dated. Now, I say that it's not like a ton of films don't use this formula, right? So I think you can go, they don't really know these things, or they're just following a formula. They're following a dated, dull, boring formula which never works. Never works, right? You can churn out a film like this, but these films are never talked about, right? When someone's going through their films of the year, it's never a film like this with this formula. You know what I mean? You're looking for the films that don't do this shit, that try new things. They're a bit more daring and realistic with their approach. And that's where we fall down here. And it's everything's predictable, right? We have these weird scenarios where in real life people would just leave. You would just leave, right? Like no one's doing this. The table tennis situation was bizarre. That was a bizarre. Like, who is doing that? No one is doing that shit, right? And then the ball at the end, you're you're using another ball. You're using another ball, and the ball's never doing that in the first place, right? The ball's not doing that. Like it's just, it's one of those things thrown in because it's like, oh my god, it would be so funny if this happens. And it's just like, but how would that happen? Right? In real life, how would that happen? How do we get there? So you can't throw it in because it's not realistic. It's stupid and not in a funny way. It's just like, what is this? You know, like just the friction thrown in. Again, these people have been dating a month. They've been dating a month. Like none of it makes any sort of sense. None of this film. It's just weird scenarios, weird things. Instead of building up these characters, right? Giving some actual depth so you care. We're just trying to throw zany things at the wall and seeing what sticks. That's what it kind of really seems like. What will work? Oh, I've seen this in a film before, or on a sitcom, or I think this might be funny. That's what we get. And even the end, we know, you know, nothing's down there, right? We know that. We know there's no danger. We know all of these things. I mean, you knew the situation in the fridge, right? The fridge situation is pretty obvious. The Gabriella situation, again, pretty obvious. It's feels like a missed opportunity. That's the big thing with this film. It feels like a missed opportunity for something more, something fun, something really good. You know what I mean? I would say that this is for people that enjoyed things like buddy games, right? Christmas as usual, Last Call to Istanbul, right? Inheritance. If you enjoy those kind of films, then blame the game. It will probably work for you, you know? Like, don't expect anything complex. You know what I mean? Some great writing, but something light-hearted, something base level, something dumb, then yeah, blame the game may work. But people, like, if you have game nights like this, then I don't even know. I don't even like the role playing thing is just stupid. Right. And just the notion of a game night, right? When it's just like, come to our game, and Jan's like, a game night? Oh. Like, as if it's the weirdest thing in the world. I mean, there's gaming cafes that opened up all over the spot because people enjoy playing games, right? It's not a foreign thing. It's not a crazy thing. Going around someone's yard playing Monopoly, playing chess, playing game of like whatever. Friends, is it friends with cards, cards against humanity, right? There's so many different things. So it's yeah, it doesn't work if you're trying to go, gaming is odd, right? Who would do that? You know what I mean? But again, buddy games, Christmas as usual, inheritance, last call to Istanbul, they all work, I feel, as barometers to whether Blame the Game will work for you. All right, so there you go. Just my thoughts, baby. Just my thoughts.